If we rewind back just, say, 5 years, I would say over 80% of final expense leads were direct mail. If we go back 10 years, it would almost be 100% of final expense leads were direct mail. As we sit here today, that you may be watching this, whenever you are, direct mail is not the gold standard anymore. Welcome to the Final Expense Sales Academy, the hub for mastering the art of final expense life insurance sales. If you're looking to become a pro in the final expense industry, you're in the right place. My name is Kyle Williams, and I'm your host to go through the ins and outs of the final expense business, from tips to tricks to industry insights. We cover everything you need to close deals with confidence, provide true value to your clients, and become a better insurance agent. So hit that subscribe button. Let's get started on elevating your sales game one video at a time. Hey guys, in this episode, we are going to talk about how direct mail used to be the gold standard for a lead, but it is not anymore. If we rewind back just, say, 5 years, I would say over 80% of final expense leads were direct mail. If we go back 10 years, it would almost be 100% of final expense leads were direct mail. As we sit here today, that you may be watching this, whenever you are, direct mail is not the gold standard anymore. In this episode, we're going to break down why direct mail leads are not the gold standard anymore. And it is true that leads are the lifeblood of any final expense life insurance agent, 100%. Because if you do not have any leads, you have no one to sell to, and you're not making any income. But what do you do when the cost of your lead has more than doubled in the last 10 years and it shows no signs of slowing down? Hold on to that thought. When I started in the business in 2016, I was working direct mail leads. I've worked my fair share, and I've sold tons of business on direct mail leads. I've trained tons of agents to sell direct mail leads, and they've sold tons of business. At that time, direct mail lead costs were around $20 a lead for a fresh lead. As we fast forward a couple years, there were some minor price increases from 2016 to 2018. But it's no big deal, just small increases, nothing to affect the bottom line that much. Then around 2020, the cost of postage went up again, and for whatever reason, return rates began to decrease. And it forced the lead cost to surpass over $30 and break into the 30s very easily. And at that time, our agency began to look around at alternative leads. We knew the existence of digital leads were present, but we had not tested them and really didn't know anybody had worked them on a large-scale agency. At that time, we began to implement them and work through some of the issues like bad addresses and leads that just simply did not exist. I'm just calling it out. We began to work through some of that. As we worked with our lead vendor to clean up some of the mess, which we did after several months, we had a very good quality digital lead at a third of the cost of direct mail leads, and some of them a fourth of the cost of a direct mail lead for freshly generated leads. In fact, the crazy thing is one thing we didn't really account on is we noticed that we were getting leads on the same person with our digital lead as our direct mail lead. So the same people are filling it out. Because at that time we were working, when we implemented the digital lead into our agency, we were working direct mail and digital leads, just as a slow transition. And when I started seeing that, it honestly got me excited, because I knew that our customer acquisition cost was about to go down tremendously, and we're going to target our same clientele. Now my agency, as we sit here today, is 100% digital lead and has been since 2021. On a large-scale agency standard. Now, let me ask you a question. If you're working direct mail leads, where do you see the lead cost in 5 years? Think about it honestly. Do you see the price allowing you to maintain profitability? Think about what you pay now every week in leads. If it keeps going up at the same trend it has over the last 5 years, forecast that out. Now do that lead cost. If you've been in the business for at least 5 years, you can do that. If not, I can tell you where it was 5 years ago. It was down around $30 a lead. Now what are you paying for it? For a freshly generated lead. That was the exact question that caused our agency to pivot from direct mail and modernize more into a digital lead. Like I said, as it stands here today, as I'm filming this video, direct mail costs are anywhere between $40 and $50 per lead. And when we transitioned, it was just surpassing $30. That was just 4 years ago. Any good business leader is able to look around and see what's going on and identify some areas that may cause pain in your business in the future. If you're not doing that, you should be. Okay? That's at the end of the day, we're all 1099 producers. You are a business owner, business thinker. Now, it's not good to always be changing and always be looking on the horizon and fearful of everything, but it's good to put some facts to paper and really think through some of these things, maybe with some highly intelligent business agency owners who've been around the block a long time, have made good decisions over a long period of time. Talk with that through them. It is practically proven that the pain of the increase in cost on direct mail is evident. Okay, it's been evident for 10 years. As it stands today, there's really no signs of it slowing down either on the increased cost. So what are you going to do if you're that agent working direct mail leads? Well, if you want to keep working direct mail leads, you can. There's no rules on it. Okay, you can work whatever leads you want to. But if you're concerned about it, the first thing that you must do is you must be open-minded to work the digital lead versus the direct mail lead. The biggest hang-up that I see agents have in transitioning is that they do not have the person's actual handwriting on the lead. Sure, that's a big deal, but let me ask you this. How many times have you signed up for something and bought something online? You personally, you went out and sought it up. You bought it online. It didn't require you to sign your name on a piece of paper, did it? So why is that hanging you up from working leads the same way? You see how it's kind of confusing? The next thing I want you to do is identify a digital lead that could be viable for your agency, for you and your agency. If you sell in person, the one thing that you want to make sure that you can do is make sure that the lead vendor is verifying addresses whenever they're getting leads. Make sure they're vetting them, make sure the addresses are good. And then ask them how they are vetting the addresses. Once you've identified a digital lead that could be viable for you, now it is time to integrate those leads into your agency. Now, I would not recommend swapping cold turkey. Okay, don't go from 100% digital or direct mail to 100% digital. I would recommend that you have a staggering approach and a gradual approach to this process. Here's an example. The best, and this is the process that we used that was super successful, and it really helped us out. So if you work 25 leads a week, I would start off with 20 direct mail leads and 5 digital leads. Then after a couple months, take it to 15 direct mail, 10 digital. Then you'll go to 15 digital, 10 direct mail. Slowly do it until you're 100% confident and ready to make the jump. Just keep trickling it down. That way you get more comfortable. This will allow you to integrate them into your agency, if you're an agency, or if you're just by yourself, allow it to integrate it with yourself to get confident and gain confidence in working that lead. Because if an agent doesn't have confidence in their leads, they're going to have a very hard time selling the products and talking with the insurers. They will become extremely discouraged. So you have to gradually work them into the process. Again, this is the roadmap that I personally used into our agency when we started integrating these into our agency. So if you're using direct mail and you do not see this as direct mail as a viable option for the next 10 years in business, I would recommend that you start doing this process sooner rather than later. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, comment below. We'd love to talk more about this. Be sure to subscribe so that way you catch all the latest content. And if you receive something valuable here, share it with your friends, share it on social media, and we'll see you in the next episode.